In this tutorial, I will walk through how to align 3D models in eCADSTAR. Typically, models come through aligned, however, if it isn't, then you can use eCADSTAR's Align and Move tools to position the model. So in the library editor, I've opened up the footprint editor to edit this 6-way header. To invoke the 3D environment, I just double-click the mouse wheel. A common question that comes through our support line is, what is this teal area and how do I get rid of it so I can see the 3D model? So every footprint needs a component area, as this is needed for placement rules in the PCB. This also contains height information, and this is stored on the placement or component area layer. This may obstruct your view depending on the layer settings. By default, this is set to fill. You can change the transparency or set this layer display as width, or turn off the visibility in the layer settings. If you can't see the layer settings, you can invoke these dockable menus from the View tab, bottom toolbar, or by using the Assist menu on the ribbon. To navigate around the canvas, you can use the virtual trackball. To do this, first hold down the mouse wheel, and whilst holding the mouse wheel down, click and hold the right mouse button and move the mouse to rotate. You can also move around the 3D environment using the 3D compass in the bottom right here. You can drag these rotating handles or the axis arrows to pan. The location of the model's 3D origin is very important, as eCADSTAR uses this for their move tools. So this must be in an appropriate place. Whether that is pin 1 or a center position, it needs to be relevant. If you are struggling to align a model, it may be due to the location of this origin being miles away from the actual 3D model. For example, let's look at this 0603 footprint. When I assign a model where the origin is not in a relevant position, you can see eCADSTAR's Model Manager gives a warning and can override this problem to some extent. However, if I click No to not automatically adjust the position, then you can see that problems will arise. You can see that the model is nowhere to be seen. So if I just pan and try and find where that is, you can see there it's actually nowhere near the footprint. And this is what can happen when you have an origin that is not on pin 1 or center point. So this time, if I click yes to automatically adjust the position, you can see that eCADSTAR has done a good job there at rectifying that issue. If I open this model in Inventor, you can see where the origin is and how far away it is from the actual 3D model. So this will need to be rectified by the creator or your eKit if you have downloaded it. So how do we know where this origin point is in eCADSTAR? The easiest way to tell is to use the Move tool. Once invoked, this will show the axis tool on the origin of the component. So we can see the origin of this component is located at pin 1 here. You can move the 3D model by clicking and dragging the axis arrows. X is the red arrow, Y is the green arrow, and Z is the blue arrow. The Move command has 2 execution modes, absolute and relative. You can also type in specific distances and angles. For example, if I wanted to rotate this component 90 degrees round the Z-axis, the preview will change, and then once I'm happy with that, I can click Execute to execute that move. But I'm not going to do that, as we will come back to this later. Right, the Align tool. So eCADSTAR prompts you to select a reference point on the footprint. Once you can see both axis tools, the aim of this task is to get them to match each other by using the Align and Move tools. You can turn on and off reference points of the footprint and the 3D model. So say if you only wanted to work with arcs, you can toggle these options on and off. So eCADSTAR is prompting me at the top there to specify a reference point on the footprint. So we know our 3D model's origin is at pin 1. So I'm going to select pin 1 on the footprint there. Now eCADSTAR is prompting me to specify a reference point on the 3D model. Again, you can toggle these reference points on and off. If you might have too many, it might be cluttering the screen. Or if you only want to use certain ones. Okay, so once we've selected pin 1 there, you can see the preview. You may notice some circles on the end of the axis. These are anchors, so you can click and drag and drop into a position. So this is good if you've got, like I just had there, I had a 90-degree angle drop. Okay, so if you've got a reference point to snap to, you can use this method. You can see how this affects your preview and the rotation that you have just executed there. So this is just a preview, so it is not set in stone. You can always just undo anyway if you do something wrong. Okay, I'm just going to leave it about there just to start off with, and then what we can do is we can use the move command to rotate the model around. So you can see we need to rotate this model 180 degrees in order for it to be in the correct position and alignment. But don't worry if it's not immediately obvious, because you can have a look at the preview and adjust accordingly. Okay, that looks much better. It looks like all the pin legs are aligned and in position. So we just need to use the move command again, or we can click and drag the Z axis there to move into place. Obviously, if you've got more specific measurement from your data sheet, or you can use the 3D measure tool, which is on the 3D model tab, and put in a more accurate distance there. So I hope that tutorial has been useful and will help you to align your own 3D models to your footprints in the library editor.